So I'm recording this right after the game 2 of the Nuggets Thunder game. A lot of great stuff. I watched a lot of these comebacks so far this playoff seasons. I watched both the Knicks Celtics games, 20-point leads. I watched the Nuggets come back down 13. I watched the Pace. Actually, last night the Pacers game, like game 2, where they came back with like 7 points a minute left. I closed my laptop down and I went to go play basketball, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. I saw the Naismith put back dunk on Siakam free throw. I was like, yeah, no, I don't believe in it. Like, the refs are obviously letting Donovan Mitchell win this game, giving him 20 free throws, but then all of a sudden I go to my basketball game in the court and people are screaming at the top of their lungs like, yo, Tyrese Halliburton's a demon, Tyrese Halliburton's a demon. I open my phone, Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater for 3. Anyways, that's not the point I'm trying to make today. What I want to talk about is the title, and the title is the 2019 Raptors would be dominant in 2025. And the league, the playoffs this year, and I see these, every team has like a difference maker. Every team has a piece that, that surprises other team that I don't expect. Quite frankly, I don't expect these players to be, playing huge roles and, almost being reliant on the team, the team relying on them. Sorry, I'm fucking English second language. But a big difference maker for the Clippers, and I think, in my opinion, the second best player was Norman Powell. Norman Powell getting to the rim. The only player on the Clippers, a guard, that would take it off the dribble and get to the rim and put pressure on Jokic. Norman Powell was a big difference. He contributed more than James Harden in a lot of these games. And I just think back like, yeah, damn, what did the Raptors even get for Norman Powell? Like a 23-year-old Gary Trent Jr. that was supposed to replace that. Man, the Powell on the Raptors right now would be so perfect because we didn't have a go-to scorer this year. Like, quickly still developing. Scotty Barnes isn't a scorer first. He's more like the LeBron James. Anyways, and then I look at the East. I'm looking at the East, and the best. How do I say this? OG Anunoby is 90% of what Kawhi was in 2019. And that, I think that makes him a top 3 players currently in the playoffs in the East. I think he's better than Jaylen Brown. I think he's on the same level of importance with Jalen Brunson on this Knicks team. And I think offensively he's not there. He's never going to be Kawhi. I think that ship's passed. But being just a lockdown defender and seeing him in that Detroit Pistons game giving Cade trouble, seeing him in this Boston series just consistently on Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum does not want to go to the rim. And just being able to have the mentality in game 1 just to go for 30, knowing that they're going to probably leave you open. Their main primary objective is to stop Jalen Brunson. I feel like, OG might be, fuck it, I'm saying OG's the best defender in the league right now. Right now, in the players that are remaining, he's the best defender. Get the other series in the East, the Indiana Pacers. Big reason why they're, able to go so far. We have Pascal Siakam. And yes, he's not putting the offensive juggernaut numbers that, expect him to take another leap. I don't think he's ever going to be that go-to guy. He's just not marketable. But when you come to the playoffs and you need a bucket and you almost want to guarantee a bucket in certain scenarios because that's what you need in the playoffs off the ISO, Pascal Siakam is getting you a bucket. He's not going to get you a consistent 4 buckets in a row, 2 buckets in a row. But if he's been, he's also a great wing defender. He's spreads it out. Still, like, he's doing the exact same thing he was doing on the 2019 Raptors, but he's just a little more consistent. Like why did we trade Pascal? Did we think, he was supposed to develop? Pascal, OG, Norman Powell, all these guys I'm talking about right now, they're great. They're great. They're incredible third options, and they're really good second options. Like, really good. And it's just crazy, man. Like, we had all these guys on the same team. It would be a lot like the Denver Nuggets. It would be just have a bunch of different weapons. All we needed was just like a solid playmaker to get the ball to these guys, and it would have looked really good really good going to the playoffs. Like, man, Kawhi's still performing how he is. Like, what happens if Kawhi stayed? like I think 2 chips. I think at least another one more after 2019. It's just crazy to think about. It is what it is. And then we get to the next series. The next team I want to talk about, Houston. You think Jalen Green at 23 would outperform, a 30-year-old 5'10" Fred VanVleet in the playoffs? No, he didn't. Fred VanVleet really had, I'm gonna put this meme up. I've been laughing at this for like 3 days now, but Fred VanVleet really had Golden State Warriors fans shook. Like, is 30-year-old Fred VanVleet really gonna outplay Steph Curry in a 7-game series? That was almost the discussion that we had to talk about. But obviously, championship DNA was gonna be able to close that Game 7 out. But look how valuable this piece of Fred VanVleet is. Like, he had a Finals MVP vote for a reason, and he's not scared of the Golden State Warriors by any means. These guys, like, when you think about it, the best thing to have for a young player is playoff experience. And all these guys, Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, Pascal, OG, they got so much playoff experience when they first started in the league. And now it's just like, damn, you just gave that out for free to other teams, and it's like, I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, I feel like we would have a lot better chance. But I'm happy. At the end of the day, I'm happy. I don't think the money would have worked out in favor, because if you re-signed all 4 players I mentioned to what they're worth today, I don't think you have enough cap space for another superstar player or another playmaker. But that's just how the league works sometimes. I don't think the payroll would have been higher than the Boston Celtics right now, but unfortunately the Boston Celtics, this is their last dance. They're not going to be able to re-sign Porzingis and Peyton Pritchards of the sort. So, it's just something to think about, something on my mind. Just a fan ranting, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.